difference maker. Carly Godwin added to this lineup as well. This is a damaged team. There is power, Jody. They expect to be driving the softball more.
They do, and Hasler has 8 homers, but they do expect more power as the season goes on, especially for Godwin.
Talon Edwards leads things off. Gosh, we're glad you're with us. Zips that one just off the plate over the outside part.
Strikeout rate tells the story. Very deceptive, and she's been terrific all season long for this team.
Edwards hitting .308. She's got a bunch of walks to go along with that. 8 walks, .375 on base. They expect those numbers to bounce and rise even more. Orsup behind her is a kind of a true leadoff hitter, but this is the way they juggle the lineup, looking to find even more offense. Zips that one over the outside corner. Beautiful pitch. 3-1 the count.
She looks like it took her a few pitches to get dialed in, but it's the thing, she can have the count, it can go from a hitter's count to a Kenzie Brown count real fast.
Edwards from Moore, Oklahoma, as she takes over the inside corner. That one with a little bit of spin right under her hand. Edwards, a daughter of Larry and Pam. Dad played college baseball at Rose State College. Mom softball at Oklahoma Baptist. They know what she's going through. They went through it, both mom and dad. And 9-8.
Conversation here from Swan and Brown at 3-2. So they want to get control of this first hitter.
That smile, boy, we didn't always see that smile in the circle. A couple of years ago, it was an ERA over 5. Last year, it wasn't a single inning because she was out. First year at Tulsa, ERA in the 7s. Talk about something locking in late in her career. Really unexpected. 3-2 fights that one off to the left side. It hugs the line, just foul. That would have been extra bases.
You're right, Darren. She's a great story. Out of the small town, Megan Bartlett, head coach at ASU, says she's a small town farm girl, and she has hit the big time when it comes to the world of college softball, because the turnaround has been incredible. To see that ERA just a tick over 1. I mentioned the second best strikeout rate in all of the country.
Kenzie ready to roll. PGF All-American 2022, Talon Edwards. Holds that bat deep behind her helmet as she drives that one towards center field, toward the wall. A spin and off the glove. Great effort there, hurrying on around, standing up with the double. Yaya Acuna took one twist, one turn, and nearly had it. It just ticked off the top.
Yeah, unfortunately, off the top of the glove there, almost was able to make that play for Kenzie Brown to get that first out, but nice piece of hitting there from Edwards.
Yeah, using the biggest part of the ballpark, let it travel deep into her stance. As we said, there's a lot that's going to come and grow for Edwards. Tia Orsup, what a great story, hitting .439 with an on-base percentage of .507. And it's huge speed, isn't it, Jody? I mean, huge speed for Tia.
It really is, and to hear her coach talk about Kenny Gajewski talking about how quick she is. So fast. It's elite speed, by far the fastest player on this team.
Threat to run every time she's on. She pulls the defense in because of that speed. She takes a pitch. Smokey Eats saw that one outside. 2-0 the count.
Tia was born in Northampton, England, but moved to Texas at the age of 4.
A couple of different geographical spots for sure.
Yeah.
But where's that Great Britain uniform in international play? Gets to represent Great Britain and has done so in WBSC events as that one is bunted foul. So that's fun. That's kind of the best of both worlds. She's enjoying being where she is, playing at Oklahoma State. When there's an international event, Orsup has desired to be on that Great Britain team. That's amazing.
Yeah, she was selected for that senior national team at age 17.
Imagine that, 17 playing on the senior national team. Just a check swing trying to run herself out of the box. 2-2 the count.
So just a little snapshot of where we are here at Farrington Stadium, Tempe, Arizona. And if the wind looks normal now, but it has been blowing for 2 days straight, Darren. 25 miles an hour with gusts up to 40. But it is calm now.
hitters are thinking, wait, where did it go? I want that wind blowing out. 2-2. Little check swing popped up. Boy, they did her a favor that time, right into the glove of Takayla Davis. Wendell, Acuna, Mejia infield. Davis, Murphy, Tiare Ho-Ching at second base. And Allen on the infield. Samantha Swan behind the plate. We'll watch Rosie Davis hit now with the runner in scoring position. And Smokey Eads sees that one over the inside corner. It's strike one as he raises his right hand. Rosie, 360, slugging 581. Couple of sophomores back-to-back at the 2 and 3 spot in this order. Bat really active, but then she locks it in. Changed up on her, 0-2.
Just a great pitch. Kenzie Brown, you know, she can throw hard, but she can mix it up with that changeup. And Rosie Davis just swings over the top.
Davis, all Big 12 freshman team last year. It's tough to jump into a conference like this and have an instant impact, but she did as that one sails high.
And we talked about this being a matchup of two aces, and it is a great pitching matchup, but two of the top second basemen in college baseball, in college softball, I should say, with Ho-Ching and Rosie Davis.
And young, freshman and a sophomore with those two. Well, that's firm, but it's outside. Good two-strike pitch, 2-2 the count.
Davis showing nice plate discipline, didn't chase that.
Freshman All-American last year. Some crazy numbers for a first-year player a season ago. She pulls her hands in. Example, she played in 60 games, had 60 starts, talking about Rosie Davis. She walked more than she struck out. And this isn't a slapper who's known for all contact, yet very first year pulled that off.
Yeah, that's impressive for sure. And that's, you know, when you're that young and you have that kind of an eye at the plate, it's impressive. She started, this is her 31st start of the season, every game.
Elevated rise ball, and down goes Rosie Davis. Oh, what a pitch.
I mean, Kenzie Brown, this is what's challenging, and this is what the Oklahoma State team is getting a taste of. They've seen great pitching all season long, some of the best in the nation, and they're seeing Brown here tonight with that rise. Just cannot catch up to it.
Well, that's a thing of beauty as catcher Amanda Hassler takes her turn now. Right after her, firm again, swing and a miss, 0-1 the count.
There's just late life to that ball. She's got a rise that can be dramatic, but then she's also just got a good fastball that has that late life, and it's equally as devastating to hitters.
Big power, 8 home runs, slugging close to 750 on the year, and she doesn't chase. A transfer from NC State, she found her home here. 27 home runs in a couple of years back-to-back at NC State. I remember her many, many years ago playing for the Rhode Island Thunder Gold. She is from Avon, Connecticut, playing for Coach Lottie and Rossi years ago at PGF. She's always been highly thought of as a talent. Oh, that pitch, 1-2. I mean, what do you do, Jody?
It's really a tough matchup. And I'm sure they've done the scouting, they've done the research, they've seen the video. It doesn't make it any easier when you step into the batter's box and have to face Kenzie Brown.
5 multi-hit games this year for Hassler. She's really raised her average. She's been hot. Bottom fell out of that one. There was a double. It was a leadoff double, but look who pieced things right back together with them. In that circle is Ruby Malin. Malin coming in, 1.24 ERA, 13-3, 101 2/3 innings, Jody. But again, we saw it there. Even more outs on the ground this year. She's upped that number too.
It's really impressive. Again, had a great 23 season, and then the numbers were a little off in 24, but now it's like she's improving as the season has gone on. You just watch each performance. She had a rough one against Georgia, but came back and bounced back against Georgia Tech and was really good. Preseason All-American. And if you're wondering about that 66, That is actually in honor of her grandfather, who played football. Her grandfather, Wayne, who was a guard at Nebraska, played in the NFL with the Browns and the Vikings. So I thought that was interesting. You don't always see 66 out there.
Yeah, it's very cool. Grandfather and dad bearing the same name. Dad, another Wayne on that family Malin line. Dad played football, didn't make it to the highest level, but in Nebraska and Wyoming. Had a chance to watch Ruby for many years, back to the high school days, playing for the Nebraska Gold on the travel side, winning a PGF championship for the Nebraska Gold. She's always been special out of Omaha, Nebraska. Scott Catholic, she was the Gatorade Player of the Year her senior year. Mejia, another one on the ground. You'll notice a theme if she's right. Those numbers don't lie. Look, she'll strike you out because she has swing and miss stuff. Not the swing and miss stuff that Kenzie Brown has. But when she's right, Jody, as we take a look at the defense, it's those four names that will get the most work.
Yeah, and you know what? Defenses love that. The players out there in the infield, they love being engaged during the entire game. You get those ground balls, you let your defense work. They've got experience there, much more experienced team than the Sun Devils, especially Bloodworth over at shortstop.
0-1 the count. Good screwball hits the inside corner. Tiare Ho-Ching. Instant impact as a freshman. Really respectable numbers. 336, 426 on base. She's been hit 10 times. Fearless getting in. We'll ask the coaches again about it. It's a subject matter I don't want to let go, that they took the time to schedule one another when they didn't have to. Oklahoma State could have stayed home, scheduled an easy win, put some fannies in the seats and sold some concessions. ASU could have gotten a team from anywhere out west to come here, and instead they invited them here.
That's really cool matchup. Excited to call this one with you, Darren. And, you know, when you look at the softball world, I think it's a great way to really size up two programs that are having really good seasons.
So then there's the story of Carly Goodwin, the power, the sophomore. Goodwin and Davis, thick at Steves, a couple of sophomores on the right side of the infield. We'll talk more about that, but there are really strong numbers here. There's another high slug of about 600. Very patient, more walks than strikeouts. She doesn't bite on the rise ball that time.
And with Godwin, I asked Kenny Gajewski because last year 15 home runs, and this year, even though you like that 352 batting average, but 4, he said she's a 20 home run type of player. There's more in there, so we'll see how the season develops.
She was a finalist last year because of that power for the NFCA Freshman of the Year. She went around there upon appeals. Smokey Eads asking Brandon Bloom. He says yes. It's tough when you're concerning yourself with everything firm and up. All of a sudden you get a pitch that puts on the brakes. That's what Godwin had to deal with. Walk-off homer against Texas A&M earlier this year. Beautiful video. Go check it out. You can see it on her Instagram. It was a wonderful moment early on in Clearwater. A couple of walk-offs in Clearwater.
This team has had some late inning heroics in which we're just to plant that seed. We don't know how this one's going to evolve, but there's a lot of numbers around this team rallying late.
3-2 over the inside. Firm screwball. Didn't go around that time. Good at bat for Godwin.
Yeah, it really is, and that's what she needs to do, is be selective at the plate. And, you know, Kenzie Brown, she just tries to change the eye level. That's what we saw ending that last inning with the strikeout of Hasler. I mean, you go rise and just the vertical difference between where that rise is landing and then the drop. But Godwin there with a really nice at-bat.
Megan Delgadillo, what a great find to the portal. A graduate student who basically is the greatest player Cal State Fullerton's ever had. When you take a look at the numbers, there have been others that have done things in the circle and maybe power, but speed and hits, no one has been a Titan like she was. And then she transferred from Cal State Fullerton. Pops that one up and it's foul.
Yeah, you're right. She's played a ton of softball. She's the current active leader in Division I in games with 236. She's got the most at-bats, hits, and stolen bases. She's got 170 stolen bases.
Cheese, they call her. That's the nickname. The beloved Cheese. Matter of fact, Cal State Fullerton put out a thank you video. They did an incredible job, their media department and their athletic department. And that's how I learned the nickname, because it was all throughout the wonderful video.
She's always cheesing.
Yeah.
Always smiling.
Popped the bunt up. She was originally a BYU commit. Thought that's where she would go coming out of high school at Riverside Poly. Made the change because, simply put, she wanted to be closer to home. She wanted her family in Riverside to Cal State Fullerton's 20 minutes. Now with traffic could be an hour and a half, but it's very, very close out there. And she wanted that, and boy, she thrived for those 4 years being close to home. Good pitch right under her hands. There is a change in approach, and Kenny Gajewski told us about it. He wants Megan swinging a little bit more aggressively. She was beaten that time with that aggressive swing.
Yeah, I mean, she's been a slapper. They want her swinging away. She's been moved down in the order. Another look, though. Just look at that ball, though. Not only is it's diving just the slightest bit down and in at the last moment.
A big spin on that curveball. Late movement right under the hands, as that's back in that same spot. Claire Tim, another Southern Californian, Kennedy High School, Buena Park, California. In right field in this one, hitting .206, on base of .341. This is her 9th start of the year.
She's getting some experience.
57 starts last year. 3rd team All-Region a season ago. Right back to the screen it goes. Got a chance when you play for this team in your year 3. That means you've played in the Women's College World Series twice already. And even her freshman year had significant playing time as a freshman playing in the Women's College World Series. Played for one of my favorite travel programs. Beautiful change of pace. That's strike 3. The former Corona Angel goes down on strikes that time. Again, she's got him in a rocking chair, Jody. Very firm up, but then not afraid to pull the string.
Yeah, Claire Tim was not expecting that. Beautiful change. Just such a difference in the velocity there, and well located. Nothing you can do there.
K's for Kenzie tonight. It's a strikeout night. You can just feel it. No matter the win or the loss, wherever it goes, you can just feel in her stuff. She's got that big, big strikeout tally going tonight. What was it, 18 she struck out earlier this year?
She had 18, yep, and then even, I want to say her last outing, 9. I mean, it always seems like it's up there. That's why, that's why the strikeouts per 7 is 11.5. I mean, it's just, there are very few nights where she's not getting that swing and miss.
She's not alone. Her entire staff leads the Big 12 strikeouts per 7. It's close to 8 per 7. That's as a team. But your pace car is this one right here. That's why that number's so high. Boom.
32 hits on the season. That's just behind Tanya Windle.
And she's got a great boot NIL deal. I love that. Footloose vintage boots. Out wearing right there on her social media. I need one of those. I don't know if it'd be for boots, maybe a shoe deal. But Kelsey, well done by you. Sacramento, California is where she's from. Went to Bella Vista High School. Played for Coach Jim Bennett there. Another one on the ground, ranging to her left, using that dirt on across the diamond. Play is made there, and a fine play at shortstop by Megan Bloodworth.
Yeah, Megan Bloodworth making that play, and over at first base, getting it done as well. On the other side is Carly Godwin and Kelsey Hall. She's been through it. We've talked about this on the broadcast before, Darren. Just a couple of ACLs in her career, both knees. And I would call, if there was a Sun Devil you would call cheese, I would call it Kelsey Hall. Kelsey Hall is she's always smiling. She's think she's not getting into media, but she could if she wanted to. I'll put it to you that way.
Wait, do we have to smile since we're in media?
Well, she's a great talker. You know, she's really fun to talk to. She's got a lot of interesting things to say in my experience in chatting with her.
Aiden Allen gets the start tonight. 255 her number in her 17th start. The batting average, that is. An on base of 304. Active, hasn't walked much, hasn't struck out much, Aiden Allen. From Prosper, Texas. Right in on the hands as that one is rolled foul.
Ruby Malin, you know, quite a different delivery than Kenzie Brown, and like you said, a different pitcher with ground balls being her go-to, and so far, that's exactly what we've seen. 4 ground ball outs.
Skips that one in there, beating up her catcher back behind home plate. Amanda Hassler gets the assignment tonight.
Well, it's not an easy job there.
Doesn't get the commitment. As we heard about a little bit from Kenny Gajewski, she's continuing to work on growing her depth and repertoire, raising the line of sight there. When you're seeing sinker down, and it's not a true sinker, but a drop down. Up is never a bad idea. That one missed just off the plate outside. A little spin to that one. And it's a rare walk from Ruby Malin.
Yeah, and I think, you know, the other thing that you're looking from Malin is wanting to incorporate the changeup. That's something that the coaches have really encouraged her to do. I mean, yeah, she's got a lot of velocity there. She's got a good rise, good drop, but that new changeup is going to take her to that next level.
Yaya Acuna drops that one down foul. Acuna starts this season with a .296 batting average, her 21st start of the year, an on base of 361. She can run. She always has ever since she's been here, the Tucson native. 6 of 7 in stolen bases.
Yeah, speed is her game. And this is a Sun Devil team. They don't exactly have the numbers when you look at 55 stolen bases for the Cowgirls. Sun Devils, though, they want to push it as well with the young ladies out there that can really run, and Acuna is one of them.
Now they're past 40, Jody. They're 4th overall in the conference in the Big 12. Texas Tech runs a lot. They've got 71 coming in. Oklahoma State 2nd. Central Florida just a notch ahead of ASU.
71 for Texas Tech, huh?
That's a crazy number. As far as offenses go, these two teams a little bit below the middle mark. Arizona State with an 892 team OPS. Oklahoma State 889. Arizona, the most prolific offense in this conference. BYU number 2. Rolls that one out to the left side. Everybody's going to be safe. Contact is king for the speedy Yaya Acuna. Couple of runners on.
Yeah, and this is a tough play as Talon Edwards tried to get over there to make that play. Couldn't quite get it done, and that's what speed does, too. I mean, you know, they know as a defense that Acuna is going to be coming out of that box hard, running, and it's kind of a slow roller. She can't make that play, and runners at 1st and 2nd now.
And Sam Swan, back of that batter's box, gets a chance to drive, runs in. Instead, it's a line drive, and it is a double play. Just like that, things got quick. Edwards gloved it, fired it on across right side. Megan settles into the box with good numbers, 313, 382 on base. How about your 9-hole hitter slugging close to 600 with 5 home runs to senior? One and one the count. Really, really good defender. I mean, that's one of her calling cards. No matter where the offense goes, the defense is going to put her in that lineup every day. It's much improved this year offensively, though. Like that, drives that one toward the left field wall to the corner. It goes, and it's gone! The 9-hole hitter, Bloodworth, with her 6th home run of the year, and the Cowgirls strike first. They lead it 1-0.
When Megan Bloodworth really drove that ball out of here, pulled it down that left field line, and you are right, much improved at the plate, Darren, and sneaky power down there. When you look at a 9-hitter coming in with 5 homers, she took advantage of that situation and takes Kenzie deep.
Just short and quick to the softball that time. Didn't get long. Contact certainly, but had some wicked topspin. We always hear hitters talk about, in either diamond sport, I want to backspin that softball, backspin that baseball, and get to that one topspin over the wall. Looked like we were watching Wimbledon there, right over the net. I mean, if the court were really big.
It got out of here pretty quick.
Alan Edwards takes in and off the plate. 1 ball and 1 strike the count.
And what a lift for her team. We saw, of course, the celebration at home plate, but after striking out the side in that last inning to come up to the plate here to lead off the 3rd and put her team up 1-0 is huge.
She was just 17 years old, Talon Edwards, when she made her move from Southmore High School to Oklahoma State, skipping her senior season. And coaching, sharing, and you know what? You always want to talk when you've hit a homer. You'll go find a friend to talk to. And everybody wants to talk to you too, let's be honest. Good take.
And you see that at every level. You hit that homer and you're real chatty over there. You get an out, you just kind of go sit down.
I know you see that around the major leagues and Major League Baseball.
It doesn't matter what level you're at.
3-1, worked a walk, so a home run then a walk. Edwards having a good night. She, different than her teammates, seeing Kenzie Brown.
Yeah, exactly. The double, the walk there, and, you know, Kenzie Brown, when she misses, she's got such swing and miss that she's used to the chase factor with a lot of batters, and so sometimes the misses are really noticeable. They're dramatic. And but as a batter, Edwards, you're right, she was seeing that well. She wasn't going to chase on that one.
Orsip last year started just 7 times. She has really settled into the lineup this year. I can remember her travel ball times with the Texas Glory. Dallas Morning News Player of the Year coming out of high school. Three hits 3 times this year for Tia. She takes that one with her and hugs the line. She races right on by. That's a great defensive play. Allen pounced. That's not an easy throw. You've got a runner you've got to avoid. You've got to spin completely around, do a full 180, and you've got a Ho Ching is on the bag. She was on the bag.
And I like the way Allen really slowed that down, because they know how fast Tia Warsop is, and she's running as hard as she can down the line. Allen just was calm and made that play.
Well, they give you an out. You take the out, obviously, with that kind of speed. I mean, the goal was to bunt your way on. She's that talented. You do take the sack bunt in the end. And Rosie Davis now with the chance to drive that runner in. Sam Swan doing the work behind the plate. Using that chest protector to block things up. One and one. Davis had the exact same opportunity 2 innings ago. 1 out, runner in scoring position. That time, Brown won the battle and struck her out. Changed up on her. 1 and 2.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see if this portion of the lineup can have more success after striking out the last time out, Davis and Hassler.
Davis had a walk-off hit, big hit late earlier this year at Shriners in Clearwater against Alabama. There you got Godwin with a homer, walk-off homer, Texas A&M. Davis breaking the Crimson Tide's heart. Cowgirls really kind of stomped into this season strong.
Yeah, they've had 8 comeback wins, and 2 of them you just named, Alabama, Texas A&M. They've won 7 games in which they trailed by 2 or more, and the 2 walk-offs. So they've had that spunk going, and they right now leading this one 1-0, of course.
So their strength of schedule, and this is a Kenny Gajewski special, he talked to you about it before the game, is 12 overall. And all the D1 teams in the country, it's 12. Their non-conference strength of schedule is 3.
Wow. And that explains what they're doing here tonight in Tempe, Arizona on a Wednesday, right? Yeah, we had a great conversation with him. You know, it's no secret. I mean, he came from a great program at Florida where they were champions, and now he's been here 8 full seasons, 9 if you count 2020.
Big chase on a pitch up out of the zone.
Yeah, another strikeout there. Kenzie Brown getting Davis for the 2nd time in this game. And even though Davis saw her back in the 1st inning, doesn't make it any easier. That rise, it looks like it's hittable, and it's just not. Blows it by her.
And there are interesting ways to look at, you know, teams as they challenge one another, as that one disappears outside, just to finish the thought. And these are just simple numbers. Oklahoma State has played 6 games in Stillwater this year. 6 games at home. Arizona State, 27. Now, of course, you're able to host. The weather never fights you here. A little bit more challenging in Stillwater. Not dramatically, but a little bit more challenging. That speaks to what Kenny's doing with the schedule. I think the most important thing you realize, look, you want to pack the house and have folks there, and they do. They have a great support in Stillwater and a beautiful ballpark. But ultimately, the most important games are not played at home at the end of the season. They're played in Oklahoma City.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what Coach Gajewski, he knows that. He said he's trying to make this team tougher for when it counts later in the season.
Just missed the inside corner. 2-1 the count, a little bit low.
And now you got the runner at 3rd. That ball went off the glove of Swan.
Or 2 outs for Hassler. Pulled the string, a high strike right at the belt. 2-2 the count.
She can just flip that in there at any time, and it seems to freeze the hitters.
Boy, Hassler had a run, a real big run over the last couple of weeks. Back on the 7th of March, Amanda was hitting .220. Then she reeled off 9 games in which she had 12 hits, hit twice, and 2 walks. Simple math. That means she got on base 16 times safely in her next 9 games.
That's what you call a heater.
Yeah, she is on a heater right now.
And 5 homers in her last 10 games.
Good pitch and an even better fight. Good screwball. The count stays 2-2.
Yeah, that's a really good pitch to Hassler, because even if she can make contact with it, she can't drive it. And she's hitting in this 4 spot because she does lead the team in homers. She's got 8.
The 2-2. 3-2 the count. This is a hitter. 3 years in, has a career .421 on base. That's in the Big 12. That's in the ACC. But to have an impact like that instantly. Lifted that one foul.
Yeah, just a little early on that. But yeah, all ACC in 23. 24 academic all ACC team. And you mentioned how hot she's been lately, Big 12.
On the ground, there goes Malin.
You were right on target on that when we started this broadcast and mentioned the ground ball rate going up for Ruby Malin, because she has just been masterful with the ground balls, and an early swing there from A.J. Murphy is a quick out.
To Kylie Davis. Feet close together, rolls that one foul, does Davis. Yeah, Murphy hitting .379 to start the year, her first 27 games. Davis, her 32nd start of the year, hitting .284 with a .398 on base. She's added 10 walks to her tally to go along with those 21 hits.
Another fabulous freshman. So many freshmen that are relied upon in this Sun Devil lineup.
A freshman or sophomore in the lineup tonight, 4 of them. One and two the count, good pitch, inner half.
She had a pair of hits Saturday at Iowa State in the game that was, the one win was a blowout, Sun Devil style, 18-4.
Delaware native from Sussex Central High School who takes high. It was pretty early on. They gave her a start against Cal, the opening Kajikawa Classic, which is hosted here in this ballpark. Shoots that one to the right side, and it's foul. Her second time out there, she homered against Miami. Your old squad. She got the Canes.
Yeah, 2-run homer. She's got a little bit of power, too. Just 2 on the year.
You can see the leverage, a nice wingspan, and that power will develop as she develops. One hop, out to third. It's zipped across. Talon Edwards, second out of the inning.
Keeping her busy over there. Edwards has been busy, and another ground ball. You know, it's hard to argue the results when you've got a strikeout pitcher on the mound, you've got the ground ball pitcher, but it's so effective for Ruby.
That ground ball rate her first year at Washington, 58%. Last year, Washington, 52%. This year, 65% ground ball rate. There's an interesting little number, too, that I'm intrigued by anyway. You may, too. She leaves a lot of players on base once they get on there. The left on base rate is elite at 82%, so not many get on, and if they do get on, they don't score. That's what an ace does, though.
Oh, yeah, working out of jams. And Tanya Wendell, now we've seen what she can do. She's a contact hitter. That's why she's leading off, and she hit a ground ball in her first at-bat.
Beautiful screwball. That is strike 3. Disappears away. Tanya Wendell goes down on strikes. When we come back, a conversation with regard to strikeout. For those that are seeing her for the first time nationally, describe how special this year has been for Kenzie.
Yeah, we're so proud of her. I mean, big injury. She had to take last year off, and she has done nothing but work and grind and believe and be an incredible teammate. And the results are certainly speaking for themselves. She's doing an awesome job.
Megan, what a great matchup this is to see Oklahoma State coming in here as you guys have gotten ready for Malin and their team entirely. I mean, a lot of ground balls. We've seen that. How do you make an adjustment as a team in the box?
Yeah, I mean, we're going to have to see the ball up a little bit and get on time. That's what she does well, and we're certainly just playing right into her game plan right now. So we don't really need to get back to the drawing board. I think we have a pretty good idea what the answer is. We're just going to have to execute.
Good stuff. Thank you for hosting us. We appreciate it.
Thank you. Thanks, y'all.
Thanks, Coach.
Now see it up. Anything down in the zone, either diamond sport, that's what you say. But if you get that pitch that's the one mistake, you better capitalize.
Well, and we have seen her go with the rise, and again, it's dramatic. It's out of the zone, which is what you want on the rise, but that's exactly right, Darren. You're waiting on a mistake pitch, and if you get it, you can't miss it. You've got to hammer it. And 1-0 right now, kind of what we thought. We knew we were looking at a pitching duel, and right now it's Kenzie Brown once again facing this Oklahoma State lineup.
Carly Godwin with that slightly open stance. Looks at the pitch just off the plate outside. North Carolina native, East Columbus High School. She had 20 home runs her senior year. That's 20 in one high school season. I'd have just put her on. Literally, I'd have just put her on. That's a crazy high school number. Changed up on her 1-1.
Yeah, that kind of power is, you know, what they're hoping for a little more of as this season goes on.
Kenny mentioned that number. To us, 20. He'd love to see her hit 20 as a college hitter.
Yeah. I mean, it's just such a difference, right, when you're seeing pitching like this.
Rise ball gets a chase. So it's change up, then rise ball back to back. Good luck.
And even though he has an experienced team, he did talk about how this team, and he loves this team. He called it one of his favorite teams, or maybe even his favorite, but he just...
But most challenging.
Having a little bit of a time figuring them out. So what he's done is ramped up the competitiveness in the practices. Because I think you learn more about your players in some of those situations. I mean, you learn about them in games, too. But then you can... So it's interesting because... You know, I mean, we know how hard coaching is. It's not easy. And then seeing some of the girls come up from the high school. High school, they had the gaudy numbers. And you're just not going to have that in college.
Yeah, you hit 500, 600, 700. Do crazy things. As that one is low and inside. She's putting in a bat on her now. Yeah, I love the honesty and the way he talks about it. As a matter of fact, he was talking on and on about Ruby Malin giving us the insights where maybe she still needs to grow, how he's glad to have her. And she was sitting 3 feet from us. So you know that a coach is honest to a player's face when he's talking about her as he did. I thought that was a cool little thing.
Very transparent.
3-2, that's a good at bat. It's lined in the left field, and it's a base hit. Boy, she worked it to a 3-2 count. I think the key, Jody, I mean, Godwin was fooled badly on a couple of pitches, but hung in there.
Yeah, she really was. I mean, she had a few swings and misses in that at-bat, but like you said, hung in there, had the chance to make some contact, did a nice job.
Daeski comes in, has an offensive meeting quickly. Delgadillo is due up next. I'm thinking they may run for Godwin. Is that what we're thinking?
It looks like you might be right. In the conversation about it, they want to run, they want to use their speed. We talked about Delgadillo. I mentioned she has 170 career stolen bases, which is the most of any active player in Division I, but she's got 19 on the season, which is the best in the Big 12. So she can run, and you know that about her. We talked also about how she's been a slapper, but now she's hitting away more often.
Dara Vandewater is the runner. Vandewater, her 19th appearance of the year. She scored 6 runs, which means she's doing a lot of this, running, earning her stripes. So Vandewater is out there working. So now you've got all kinds of lightning speed with nobody out there at first and in the box. So on your toes defensively, if in fact you're ASU, and they are. They're in tight on the corners, of course. Slaps that one right over the third base dugout. Delgadillo struck out back in the second inning.
Well, we've seen this trend with Kenzie Brown of that first batter of the inning getting on base. In the first, it was a double. In the second, it was a walk. In the third, it was a homer. And then, and now you've got a single. And so she's done a good job of getting out of problems like this.
Great shot a moment ago for choked up on the bat. She drops it down. Played nicely. They move the runner to second. Davis was already playing tight. One hop into the glove. One step, throw to first.
Yeah, like you said, they were geared up for the speed, and if something goes wrong, they're going to have 2 runners on, but it was a sacrifice getting her over there, ultimately. And Tara Vandewater at second.
0-1 the count on Claire or Tim. Tim had 16 multiple hit games last year. He was one of the athletes that was athletic enough when she was playing in the outfield. Could be moved in when they would play 5 defenders on the infield. And yet throughout the year held at a 1,000 fielding percentage.
It's great versatility. Coaches love to be able to have that.
That's fun. I love when coaches will try a play like that. You know, shrink their outfield, play 2 players out there. I'll tell you, with Malin on the mound, you could get away with that a lot. 0-2. Beautiful pitch, rise ball, and down with a strikeout goes Tim. That's the second time she struck her out.
That is the rise ball. That is the biggest reason why. She's got a number of ways she can strike you out. And with Tim, it was looking in the second inning, but this one is just all that life and that velocity on the rise ball.
Michaela Wark. Good take on a pitch that jumps up and out of the zone. From Frisco, Texas, Reedy High School. A couple of years ago, Big 12 all-freshman performer. 1-1 the count.
Just a good change up there, and you see the arm is moving like it does on all of her deliveries, and then the ball's just coming out. Great change-up grip and delivery.
Sis Maya played softball at North Texas. Speaking of Wark, 1-2 the count. She's one of those players that was ready for college. It was a couple of years ago when she was on that all-freshman team. Had an impact at the Women's College World Series. Gosh, slugged .541 in the year overall, homered 10 times that first year.
Yeah, like this lineup, you've got some power at the bottom. Wark with 6, Bloodworth now with 6 after her home run, which is the difference in the game right now.
Two. That is 9. 9 strikeouts.
She's relentless with the ball down in the zone, inducing ground balls.
That one is rolled foul. Now I'm just seeing this as it comes together. Looks like Hadhoot has come on and is playing in left field, and Warsup has moved to right field. As that one, pretty pitch, screwball just off the plate, framed up nicely out there by Hassler.
It's a little defensive shift by Coach Gajewski.
Swing and a miss, goes back to that screwball. 1-2 the count. You were talking about Ashley and the impact that the freshman has had with those 9 home runs, the stunning .580 slug first year in. That one, though, has her leaking out front, putting it on the ground, and it's turned into an out very swiftly by Rosie Davis on a 4-3 ground out.
Well, yeah, Ashley Mejia, I love watching her hit because she has the leg kick, she gets that foot down, and she wants to slug, but she's trying to elevate a ball. It's very hard against Malin, so Malin has been masterful with it here tonight.
With 7 ground ball outs. Yade Ho-Ching puts it on the ground, but it's a base hit. Can she leg it out? She does. Good effort there by Warsup as she was charging in. She knew what she was dealing with the speed. The key was it was hit hard enough for her to take a shot.
Yeah, it really was, and a nice job there as we take a look at Tiana Ho-Ching. Just gets that one off the end of the bat and gets it into the outfield. That's a win if you're a Sun Devil, getting it out of the infield, and with Ho-Ching's speed, she was able to get over there safely to first base.
Good screwball just in and off the plate. 1-0 the count to Kelsey Hall. All grounded out to short. Back in the second inning. Slips far enough away. Boy, that's a great read. The moment she saw that softball, even inches away, she was gone, Ho-Ching.
Yeah, again, for a freshman, great awareness out on the bases. She comes from a great program. Her club team, Mercado. She's very solid in all aspects of the game.
3-0 the count. 1 out. Talked about that left on base rate. Ruby Malin, this is where she wants to flex it. 82% is that number. Split the plate, 3-1.
That's a ball that was a little more up in the zone. It's the kind of pitch Kelsey Hall can drive.
Popped up right side. Tries to dump it in, and she does. Runners on first and third. There's uncomfortable contact. That's what you're looking for if you're Malin. But the strength is what popped it to right.
And that's exactly what Kelsey Hall can do. Again, not able to really drive that ball, but with her strength at least gets it out of the infield. And that's been the theme here in this bottom of the fourth inning, is just trying to, again, they're not hit incredibly hard, but getting them out of the infield gives them a chance to get some base runners, and that's what they have now on first and third with 1 out.
So time to have a conversation and settle things in. Pretty quiet with the ace out there in the circle. A little bit of movement, starting to spin the softball out there now, just a little bit. Looks like Kira Aycock is starting to throw it out there just a little bit. Malin, of course, will be called upon here in a couple of days to the Arizona Wildcats, so this isn't a midweek, but again, I was going to say this isn't a midweek walk in the park, but when you pitch on Kenny Gajewski's team, you know that you're not getting a bottom of the barrel mid-major coming to your house. You're doing this midweek.
Yeah, and that's going to be another great series, Darren, down at U of A, because that was a terrific one here with the Sun Devils, where the Wildcats took 2 of 3.
So the infield is tight. It's rolled to the right side. Chase the runner down. They'll tag her. They'll look the runner back. Runners move to second and third. So you've got decisions there, and I think Godwin really made an impressive choice there.
She really did. She was decisive, right? She decided to field that ball and then just chase down the runner. That way she can control Ho-Ching over at third base. Ho-Ching probably was not sure exactly what was going to happen there, and Godwin just completely controlled that situation.
Quick pause, quick call of timeout. Trying to strand a couple of runners out there, and it's damage time, they hope. Hit out toward short, gobbled up, hurries it on across, and Malin did it again.
Kenzie Brown.
Yeah, big stuff for Loopy. Big opportunity here for all the pitchers to see a talented foe before they head into their Big 12 weekend again.
First one is wildly off the mark. Loopy, a sophomore from Pleasant Grove, California. We have seen her quite a bit, and she's put up some good numbers. She's improving, Darren, with more experience in this sophomore season.
We've learned about her, Jody, that she lights up the metrics, and she is, continuing to be that clay that's being molded because she's got ace stuff. A sparkling 3.03 ERA, a bunch of strikeouts, 50 and 67 innings, but she is pretty fearless.
There's a strike, 2-1 now. Yeah, you're right. And she came into a series against the Wildcats of U of A. She was really pumping strikes. Now her first 2 were off the mark to Megan Bloodworth, who of course had the difference maker in this game, that home run. And that one is fouled off to the right side.
It's got to be a great feeling if you're Bloodworth, seeing the evolution that you've been able to have offensively, and you know what you've been able to do. Understanding a year ago you were hitting 185, you had only homered 4 times, and your glove was always there, so you were going to play. But now to be able to contribute like this.
And there is a base hit up the middle, rolls into center field, and she is 2 for 2 with a home run and a single. And you're right, it's defense first for Bloodworth, but she's getting it done at the plate here tonight.
Short and quick. We talked about that short and quick approach that she had to the softball for the homer. Not trying to do too much. It was that same approach. Softball there, didn't try to do too much. It's almost as if she doesn't have a full follow-through. Watch as she goes through. There's not even a full follow-through. And for her, it works great.
She's got a really open stance, too. She has been quite the catalyst here and leads off the 5th with a hit, and that brings up Talon Edwards. She has been on base twice already herself, a double off of Kenzie Brown in the 1st and then walked in the 3rd inning. Nika Lupi misses outside then.
So much fun watching how different hitters approach the at-bat, and they all end up in that same ready space. Edwards, for an example, lays the bat on her shoulder. That's her comfort, and then gets a little bit more geared up into the ready, but has that loaded back leg.
And that gets past Swan and Bloodworth on to second base. Yeah, Edwards started off the game with a solidly hit ball off of Kenzie Brown, but it is interesting to see all the different stances, all the approaches. And that one right back to Lupi, throws over to Aiden Allen for the out, and the runner advances. Bloodworth's over on 3rd now.
Bloodworth did exactly what you're supposed to do. She froze. As a matter of fact, I think she thought she might have been a dead duck about 5 steps off the bag. Lupi decided, I'm taking the out that's out there in front of me. She freezes. The key is you can freeze. No one's near the bag. And once she realized the throw was going, turn the engine right back on.
And that brings up left fielder Tia Worsup, who is now in right. We saw her switch defensively. And she has popped up and then hit a ground ball in the 3rd, now facing Lupi. And that one misses inside.
It's funny with Worsup, she was actually beat out of her position in the fall. It was not hers, and with some struggles of those that took her spot, she reclaimed it and has not given it up at that point.
Little ground ball, Lupi going home, and then they have Bloodworth hung up, but the ball gets past Davis on the throw, and Bloodworth is going to come on home. And Worsup, we know about her speed. She is into 3rd base. Wow.
The boy, that was costly, aggressive base running for Bloodworth, and that's what it does. Still, she was out and should have been out, and a play that was not executed by the Sun Devils. As soon as she's going on contact, she sees it out front, she thinks, uh-oh, I'm in big trouble. The throw went home, and a couple of steps were taken by Swan, but I don't think she had those steps. The throw, a little bit off the mark, but she didn't have those steps. And maybe if you're going to replay the entire thing in your loopy, you maybe run at the run.
But when you're decisive that way, and I think she thought in the moment that was the right play, but I think you're right. If she that way, she's more in control of the situation if she runs toward Bloodworth at that point.
Because you can't worry about Worsup. She's going to run like a bandit no matter where the throw goes. We saw her end up at 3rd. Your most important concern is that runner out front of you and get her to really, truly commit somewhere. She gave up the softball before the runner was committed.
Yeah, costly mistake there, having that ball roll into left field foul territory, and it's 2-0. Rosie Davis steps to the plate. A couple of strikeouts for a hitter that has had so much success this season. Kenzie Brown had her befuddled. She shows bunt. That's in there for a strike. And this is low and outside.
A couple of times she won a PGF, Premier Girls Fast Pitch Championship, back in the day when she was younger. Played for a really good program, Tennessee Mojo.
And the count runs to 2-1. Yeah, Rosie Davis, we were talking to Coach about the production from she and Godwin, and he said they're the best of friends. And puts the bunt down, and it is perfect as Takaya Davis tries to get it to Swan, but Worsup is so quick, and she is safe. And now the lead is lengthened out to 3-0 Cowgirls.
Now, that was a safety squeeze. It wasn't a suicide squeeze, but oh, what a beautiful bunt it was. And Davis dropped it down. Again, they were trying to sniff it out, but really good speed. Worsup can fly, and then you take advantage of it. A little bit of little ball there, and it's costly for ASU.
Just so well executed there by Davis. Let's take another look at this one, Darren.
Yeah, again, deadened right there at home plate. And a glove flip was the only play. No other option. There really was no play.
Just putting a lot of pressure on this Sun Devil defense in situations where, like you said, there's really, the previous play, yes, you could have handled it differently, but that one, really no way you're going to get the runner with that kind of speed. And this is where their speed shows up in some interesting ways. Amanda Hasler steps to the plate, swing and a miss, and the throw down gets away from Ho Ching. And Rosie Davis is in there at second. They won a run. They came in with 55 stolen bases. Hasler, she can bring some power.
Well, Davis 6 of 6 now. Perfect on the year.
Loopy misses outside, and it's 3-1.
It's interesting, they had really walked the tightrope, meaning ASU defensively. With Kenzie Brown, there have been a ton of strikeouts.
Back to Loopy, over to Allen, high throw, but she's out. And that is good for the second out. Runner moves up, so Rosie Davis has made her way to third, with Carly Godwin coming up to the plate.
And coming into this inning, Oklahoma State had 10 at-bats with runners on, and they had just one hit. They're struggling in that area tonight, but a miscue helps. They're overall 1 of 14. They've had 14 at-bats tonight with runners on. But they're winning 3-0. And they've struck out a ton, too. They've struck out 9 times already. Again, but they're winning 3-0.
It's playing the game the smart way.
And it's countering with Ruby Malin.
Yes, Ruby Malin has been outstanding. And it's interesting as we looked at the matchup, and as tough as it is to face Kenzie Brown, they were able to get 1 run. And now 2 in this inning. Loopy misses badly. And now you find yourself in a situation where, Ruby Malin has that 3-run lead unless they tack on here and maybe even get another run. She's been terrific. It's really no surprise she's been good all season.
It just felt like runs were going to come. They've had the leadoff hitter reach every single inning. They're 5 for 5 in the first 5 innings. The runs will come if you do that. And you can't always lean on the strikeout, you know, to get you out of messes.
But Kenzie Brown does it probably better than anyone.
Oh, it's crazy.
in America.
It's crazy.
Is that equipment for Sam Swan? Or?
I just think she didn't like and wanted to reset with her pitcher.
Lupe's location is just not as good as we've seen it. She prides herself on being a strike thrower. You said fearless. That's a good way to describe Nika Lupe.
She learned a lot last year, paying attention to those a little bit older than her.
AJ Murphy, kind of the glue on this team, not just in the infield, has a few words of encouragement. A swing and a miss, and Lupe gets out of it, but not before 2 runs come in, and the Cowgirls take the 3-0 lead. Stay with us. When we come back, we will catch up with the head coach. 3-0 lead.
Well, when you're 0 for 10 with runners on base, you need a homer, right? You need a homer when you're not getting any hits with runners on base and you're striking out every time. And I think that's what he meant. Okay, let's relax. We have the one. Let's relax now. And that's, again, what they're talking about. They did have some help behind them, but they earned that. They created the opportunity to have that mistake be made. You made the good point, Jody. It was speed.
It really was, and it's not always going to come in the form of, you know, stolen bases, but it's just advancing on an error or advancing or getting to home plate, and nobody faster than Tia Warsup. We saw that. Sam Swan leads off the 5th for the Devils.
First pitch right at the letters, right at that Devils on her jersey of Swan. Next pitch all the way back outside. So let's see where she comes now. 2 different spots.
That one down the middle. And Swan takes it. And that one misses, and Sam Swan, a sophomore, 33 hits on the season, batting .337. And she's going to take the walk. I was just looking at her walks. She has 8 on the season, make it 9. And of course, it feels like a big at-bat when you come up in this 5th and you're down by 3, just want to get a base runner. And now AJ Murphy, the double shortstop, comes in, and she grounded out to third base in her first at-bat.
Cooler night. Malin sat for a while her team scored those runs. May take her a moment to get loose. That maybe with the command was what we were seeing. Again, it's not a freezing cold night, but from what we've gotten used to here in Arizona, it's officially a cooler night for sure. Temperatures into the low 50s at this point.
That wild spring weather where I know it's crazy all across the country, but it was 90 in March and now it's 60. And that is popped up back to Malin, who makes the easy play to retire Murphy.
So interesting what we're seeing as we go kind of into this 5th inning. We're not all the way done second time through the order, but we saw Swan pitched way in and tight, and now we see Murphy pitched with an effective pitch in. We're seeing Malin decisively this inning. I'm coming in and off the plate a little bit more.
And to Kyla Davis.
So much movement on that screwball, wasn't there, folks? That one started just off the plate inside, and it was caught behind the hitter. That's the spin on that screwball.
And that is going to be ball 2. She throws a lot of drop balls, has that success getting ground balls. And now we're going to have another meeting in the circle.
Well, the time at Washington, here's what it did. And she feels like she's being challenged a little bit more. Whenever you make a change and there are new voices in your ear, especially if you chose to go to that new place, you're going to grow. And that's what's going on with Malin. But if you look back on the fact that at Washington, she had a chance to pitch 10 innings in the Women's College World Series, that is also irreplaceable, that experience.
Yeah, it really is. And she brings that experience into this season, along with the new coaching that she has here at Oklahoma State. And I think we're seeing why she came in with that 172 batting average against. Just nobody's, as Megan Bartlett mentioned, you know, just trying to see something up, because she hasn't really made a lot of mistakes in the zone, and it has not allowed these hitters who are looking to elevate to be able to do that. And Kyla Davis hits this one to Rosie Davis at second base, and cannot get Davis at first, but runner out at second. Swan is retired, so 2 outs.
And that sound, did you hear that at home? Hitters don't like that sound. If that was a wood bat, it'd be in 4 pieces. Yuck, you just can't get the good connection on that one.
What do you call it? Uncomfortable contact.
Yeah, that's even more so than that. That's I'm angry what you did to me. Get out of my kitchen. I don't like that at all. Again, in more this inning.
So Tanya Wendell, 0 for 2. She works her outside to start the at-bat for ball 1. And that's in there for a strike. Wendell trying to get a 2-out rally going here with Davis over at first. And it's another ground ball right to the first baseman, Godwin, and Wyndon 1 down.
Well, that was a crazy nice play. I mean, that was an A+ of a play, because that had slapper spin on it. It snuck right by Davis. You're dealing with your defender right next to you. Down to a knee, and then you've got to pop right back up and make an accurate throw. That was an excellent play by A.J. Murphy.
She made it look easy, smooth over there. Back. And now at the plate we've got, now we saw Lexi McDonald come in here. The junior is going to take the at-bat. Claire Tim was batting in the 7th spot. So Lexi McDonald making her debut here in the 6th. And that is a ground ball. This time it's Davis over to Allen, and she makes the play. And those two over there are having to direct traffic amongst each other, but they are getting it done as Murphy is laughing about it, as is Davis.
All right, you're not getting all the accolades for making that great play. I'm making this one. And she just kept going. That was kind of like that remote vacuum we have in our homes. If anybody has one, I don't. It just kind of keeps moving forward. Yeah, keeps it. That's what that was. That was a vacuum that just moved right to that softball, and it was not going to come off its course.
I need to get one of those, by the way. I don't have a Roomba. I might be the only one in America that doesn't have one.
I don't have one. I don't have one.
Sounds like you do. And now it's Michaela Ward. Pardon me, it is Rachel Hatton. I didn't have my paperwork in order, Darren.
Yeah, he's been switching things around last couple of innings.
Well, you mentioned when she came in defensively into the outfield.
That's her 29th appearance, 30th now on the year. Got 14 hits and 61 at-bats. When she gets on, she can move. 3 of 3 in stolen bases.
And that ball misses, so 3-1, low to Hathoop. And Loopy doing her best Ruby Malin impression with a couple ground balls to open up this frame. And then she ends up walking Hathoot in the 8th spot in the lineup here.
Hathoot had quite a run in New Mexico, played there for 4 years before moving as a grad transfer. Top 10 in runs scored in program history, top 5 in triples in the program's history. Really good in that Mountain West Conference.
Megan Bloodworth, ground ball to the shortstop, and the play is made.
Ground ball outs.
11, wow. Kenzie Brown had her share of strikeouts, but it's been the ground ball that has the Cowgirls with this shutout going. And Ruby Malin, who fires ball 1. Ashley Mejia, who leads the Devils in homers this season so far. The freshman has 9. She's batting .260. And that one is popped up, and it's going to go into the crowd behind the Sun Devil dugout. Souvenir. So many kids vying for that ball. He's in a tough spot. There you go. I don't know, you know, the Sun Devils are trying to figure out Malin, but there's really nothing they can do when everything hittable's been down. Like you mentioned, Darren, the drop ball, the screwball, a lot of movement on the screwball.
Yeah, and then the effort goes a little bit into pressing, you know, teams that are going through that. And Malin is going to really feed off of that aggression.
A hard ground ball, but fielded by Rosie Davis, who does make the play for the out. It was a close play over there. Mejia was busting it down the line.
I think they're going to look at this one.
I would think so too. We saw over at first Brandon Blum make the signal that she was out, but it looked awfully close.
Here's the funny thing. It looked like a big swing by Mejia and that she really hit it hard, but it was more off the end of the bat. Malin's first reaction was a tiny bit defensive, and then when she threw her glove down, I think she'll tell you, I should have made this play. Yeah, it looks like she got her. But again, we'll see what they see. This angle may tell us more. Close?
Yeah, it's really close. It looks like her foot hits just as it's entering the glove. So we will have a little moment with some extra country music here on Country Night as we await the replay. Mejia did a good job trying to get down the line. And gosh, it looks to me like her foot gets in there. I'm not sure that that's going to be the call, but that's...
Smokey's on the case. Smokey Eads is down there checking it out.
It's your guy, Smokey. And it was, by the way, another ground ball.
It was. That angle looked like she beat it. I finally saw one that was a little bit more decisive. And again, one that Malin will tell you, I make that play. You know, again, but she was a little bit thrown off by the big swing, but the bad contact.
Yeah.
Kind of threw her off. Ruby will tell you, I'm making that play 99 times out of 100 myself, so we're not having this review. I think you felt like once it got by Malin, and that speed right there was going to beat it out.
So we'll await a call here. If it is overturned and Mejia's at first base, you know, there haven't been all that many base runners tonight for the Sun Devils. A walk and a hit in the second. That was snuffed out by a double play. 2 hits in the 4th.
Safe is the call.
There you go.
Safe is the call. They overturn it.
We'll see if the Sun Devils can make it count here and get a little more offense going. But it was, again, another ground ball. Ruby Malin's been outstanding with it, so now she'll face Tiare Ho Ching, who had a single in the 4th and was left stranded over on 3rd base. And there it is, a ground ball. She'll go over to second for 1 out. Can't turn the double play, but mission accomplished on recording an out.
It's just a disheartening. One pitch out. A little bit in. Again, that screwball off the plate. Just when you think you stack something up. And again, you're swinging because you think you see it. And you think you're comfortable. Tied her up. Jammed herself just a little bit. And, of course, you're not going to double up that speed.
What do you think of? I feel like we've seen a lot of early count swings.
Yes.
So here comes Kelsey Hall, who watches one. Up and in a little bit for ball one.
She's thrown 64 pitches to work here in the 6th inning. That's efficient.
Another pitch way inside. Hall had a single in the 4th inning. And you're right about working hitters in, especially Hall, who's got power.
Well, you nailed it. You absolutely nailed it. You don't want to leave one out over the plate because this game changes in an instant.
And Hall gets a piece.
And the wind is starting to move a little bit toward right field. So the jet stream, Hall, beautiful right center field power. Could have a little bit of help. Malin's still thinking there's no way I'm letting something get out over the plate for you. If it is, it's way out.
She has been spot on with her location, executing pitches tonight. And that one was hittable, but late on it was Hall, as that was rising.
Yeah, she went up that time. That's not your ground ball inducing pitch for sure. That's a setup pitch, line of sight. Tough to drive a pitch up above the letters. So let's see what this sets up. I think that's the key. What's next?
2-2 pitch. And that one is in there for a ball, but it was awfully close.
As she tried to grab the outside corner with the late moving screwball, just a little bit of touch and feel on it, but it was out.
3-2 to Hall. And a swing and a miss on an inside pitch, and they get the out at second base as well. What a throw there by Hasler. Edwards started off the game with a double, walked in the 3rd inning. Was retired in the 5th, so here she comes to lead off the 7th. Ground ball, that one gets passed to Kyla Davis, and Edwards is on to start off the inning.
You know, if you were to look up in your softball manual how to approach an at-bat, and especially letting a pitch travel deep into the stance, this is it. Utilizing speed. Edwards has had a great game. She was not at all befuddled by Kenzie Brown. Had a wonderful approach, a double and a walk, and now this single. This is a great night for her in Tempe.
And now it's more speed with Tia Warsup. She came around to score in the 5th. Which brings up a little note from earlier today as she shows bunt, brings it back, and does drop one down. Swan makes the play over to second, but the runner, Edwards, is safe in there at second base, so stolen base.
Kind of caught in between.
Yeah.
Kind of caught in between there, Jody. I think she's patting herself on the chest thinking, I'm lucky my ankle is still intact, because that's a slide play there. I wonder if they want to take another look at it, by the way, if maybe it was picked up in foul territory. Oh, boy.
Yeah, she did get her foot just jammed on the base right there.
Well, on further review, was she out? I mean, I think if she slides, she's safe here. Looks like this is a fair ball. Smokey's on that call. But let's look at second. They may look at this. Oh, it's close. Real close. I think she got in there. But the no slide made it really awkward.
It did. I wonder about her decision making there, because that seems like an easy decision to make on the slide. Made for an awkward.
I'm glad she's okay.
Yeah,
That's the biggest thing for me.
Situation for her ankle there, and they're taking a look. I had a little note that I saw from this morning. Tia Warsup, by the way, they've won every game when she has scored a run, and she has scored a run in this game. These are the little nuggets.
I like that nugget.
That you find out there, right? So it allows a little meeting time here for the coaches with the players.
It's funny listening to Kenny before the game. He kind of challenged his colleagues to do what he, and of course ASU has done, is to play these games. And he said, I'm disappointed when coaches have an opportunity to take this on and don't. It's not that you aren't inclusive of mid-majors. You should be. Especially within your home state. That's what grows the sport. Great example is how much GCU, U of A, and ASU play one another. But you have an opportunity. You get into conference play. Let's see what they decide, by the way. We're going to call her safe. Everybody's safe all around.
Yeah, and I think that it looked like that was the right call. Just such an awkward situation. You're right. I'm really glad Edwards is okay over there.
It scared me. The parent in me got scared looking out.
I didn't initially see that her foot had kind of jammed on the base, but I guarantee she'll be ready to slide the next time.
Just slide, it's easier.
Oh, yeah. We've got a lot of speed on the bases. Rosie Davis. And Swan recognizes that. She's ready to throw down to third. Davis, after striking out in her first two at-bats, had a single in the fifth. As Tipton is finding herself in a bit of a mess here in the top of the seventh.
Not a bad location there, 1-0. Just off the inner half of the plate, right about the knees. I love the fact that they pulled the bunt back. I'd love to see Davis keep taking a shot at driving the softball.
Davis does put the bunt down, charged by Allen, and over to first for the out. Tiara Ho-Ching is there covering first base, so they do get an out there. And that is a win for the Sun Devils, but still runners on second and third with just one out.
And I'm not going to get everything I want, right? I mean, if I want a ball in the gap and I want a hitter to try it, I think it's a safe place, certainly, to add just one more or two more runs for sure. You play for now, one single does a lot of damage.
And there you have a play over at first.
And that's why that sacrifice bunt's important, Jody, because as much as I wanted it in the gap, a beautiful sac bunt, then all it takes is uncomfortable contact and you score a run.
And it's 4-0. Now you've got Carly Godwin at the plate. Godwin's been on the bases quite a bit, walked in the second, singled in the fourth. And Julianne Tipton just looking to get out of this with minimal damage.
A little bit of action in that Cowgirls pen, but I think Malin takes it to the finish line.
And that one's fouled off. Yeah, Malin's been terrific. I know she'd want that opportunity. And why wouldn't she get it, right?
If the score gets bigger and larger and you have somebody that you'd like to get some work in, otherwise everybody wins with a complete game and the confidence of Malin just goes higher.
Ruby Malin has been terrific in this game, just giving up 4 hits, working the ball down, haven't been able to elevate many balls at all in the air, as Aiden Allen will lead this one off. She's walked tonight.
Smokey making it work. That was not a bad pitch, just a little bit off. off, but just a touch.
Yeah, that one's another close one. But it goes to 3-0. A little high.
Great choice. She took a little walk instead of staring in, getting front. Take a little walk, clear your head, then go back to work on 3-0.
And there it is, a leadoff walk here in the 7th for Aiden Allen. If you're Ruby Malin, you really just want to finish this off quickly in the 7th and get out with your complete game shutout.
Last 3 innings, ASU has had the leadoff runner reach. And you think, okay, maybe we can get something going. And unable to do so. They may run for Allen here.
And that's exactly what they are going to do. And in comes number 2 for the Sun Devils.
I think Grace Molitor is going to jog out there.
Grace Molitor, yep. And then you've got Lillian Holtje. So you've got Grace Molitor. We talked about so many freshmen for the Devils. Molitor's over at first as a pinch runner, and Lillian Holtje jumps into the batter's box here in a big spot for Yaya Acuna. And an early count lead here for Ruby Malin. It's 0-2 quickly to Lillian Holtje.
With Holtje, she can slug it. You're hoping to catch lightning in a bottle. And
Just misses outside.
there's no other way to put it, Jody and folks. She slugs .508. She's got 5 home runs. Matter of fact, she's got 14 overall hits this year, more than a third of them home runs.
And a swing and a miss there as Malin gets the out via the strikeout. And you're right, Holtje inserted there because of the power, but some strikeout in her game as well.
So that's a pitcher that looks at the scoreboard and pitches to the scoreboard. Even though it's a hitter with power, you cannot hit a 5-run homer and take the lead with only 1 on. That ball couldn't have been more down the middle of the plate. You beat me, freshman, and she was unable to do it.
She hasn't thrown many down the middle either all night long.
No, and that's a good. She's just not going to walk.
She's on the attack.
Probably ticked off at herself for the leadoff walk, too, Jody.
And now it's Samantha Swan. She lined into that double play in the 2nd, did walk in the 5th. So she worked to walk, but there's another ball down the middle. And you know, again, I like the fact that Malin's on the attack here.
Yeah, and that one had a little bit of late life, too. Maybe started outer third, and a late running screwball really spinning the softball this inning.
That one hit hard, but to third base she goes over to 2nd and turns the double play. What a nifty play on defense for the Cowgirls to end the game and complete the shutout for Ruby Malin. Unbelievable job tonight, Darren. Really watched her put on a clinic when it comes to ground balls.
Yeah, Malin was outstanding tonight, and again, she does strike out more than a batter per inning. But the ground ball after ground ball after ground ball. Keep moving your feet, athletes. That's exactly what they do. The key there was the turn by Davis. She knew she had to get rid of it. But when you have a pitcher engaging you the entire night, as Malin did, you will see better plays. We saw some really unique defensive plays. Boy, that was